Welcome everybody to the CrossFire podcast, where we are just getting started. Mooch is still getting his feet wet with this whole OBS and Discord thing, but it's really coming together, and I gotta be honest with you, I love it. I really do. Even though you're gonna hear me complain about it for a few weeks, I've just got to get my bearings on this whole thing. But once I get that down, this is an outstanding way to podcast and give you guys more entertainment and provide you just a better overall experience. That being said, we've got a great show tonight. Hopefully, Jay. Shout out to Jay the Matrix Gamer who helped me make all this happen. That's at JMatrix76. So I want to say shout out to him. I can see that he's letting the guys in right now. They're all coming into the room. I'm going to start some introductions here and go down the list. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. And hopefully, the panel this week can hear me. I made sure the microphones were the right microphones this time, okay? I'll start with... Right? Thank you. Right? As Xbot walks in, Xbot's got the most experience on Discord and OBS, yet he's the only one that's always like, what? Where are we? What's going on?
Down how you were doing this stuff, like while you're going live.
I appreciate it, Xbot. But let me start with the one, the only. He's coming in right from his couch tonight. It's Crap Gamer. Crap, how the hell are you doing tonight?
Hey, you know what? Go Xbox, Bleeding Edge for Game of the Year. Battletoads looks amazing. I can't wait to talk about some of this great news we heard from Gamescom. I'm so thrilled to be back talking Xbox, man. What a time to be alive, right?
Wow, who's that guy? I thought Crap was coming tonight.
Come on, man. No, it is, man.
It is Crap.
Let's go.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's go, man.
I can deal with that.
You know what? Greenberg did it, man. Shaving Battletoads on the back of his
head.
I
hope you do the same thing.
He's committed, man. He's committed. I'm committed. We should have both be committed. It's going to be great.
I couldn't have been said any better than it was. While I keep doing intros, guys, please do hit that like button. Do retweet it out and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. And then I've got my other usual suspect here, Xbot448, who will come to the defense of anything green tonight. Xbot, how the hell are you doing tonight?
Yo, what is going on, brother? What is going on, chat, guys? It has been an incredibly humbling day. I don't know if you guys are out there on Twitter a lot, but the Xbox Pope himself made a stunning Xbox 448 One X
he really did.
Controller. Oh my goodness! Huge shout out to the Xbox Pope, brother. That was awesome. Thank you so much. I did see him. He's in the chat, by the way. He is definitely in the chat.
He always makes it for the show. I do have to say, thank you to the Pope. The Pope has been here since day one with me and Crap. He's never left our side, and that's a blessing, okay? So that's fantastic. Pope, thanks for being here tonight. I've got a couple of great guests, guys, and I got to be honest with you, with tonight's subjects and just what we're going to be covering, these guys have been very opinionated over the past weeks. I kind of special picked them to kind of come on. This man needs no introduction. He's had a couple of brap rants that are going to go down in history right now. Enrique, welcome back to the show, and what a week you've had.
I've had a very interesting week. Actually, one of my rants led to the, I don't know if maybe famous or infamous, David Jaffe joining.
It did! I listened to it.
So that was interesting. So it's been a fun week, but
that was a good little stream though. By the way, I like that. That was quality stuff.
Yeah, you know it's crazy. He jumped in the live chat. I had no idea he was going to be there. He starts chatting in the live chat, and he's like, "Hey, if you want me to come on live, I'll come on." I'm like, "Cool, come on." And the rest is history.
It certainly is. I got to be honest with you. And you know what? Maybe we won't. I don't have it in my subjects tonight, but I think we'll bring it up because, Enrique, I wanted to talk about it with you last week, but you couldn't make the show. So maybe tonight at the end we'll kind of get into that because I do want to discuss that and also promote the channel. And then I've got a great friend of mine also who's stopping by. I've got Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo, let me be honest with you, also a member of BRAP. Also does Scumcast with the Ashen Luca, so we're going to give her a shout-out as well. Slow-Mo, welcome back, and let me tell you something. You're doing great work on your channel, and you're hitting subjects that most YouTubers aren't. So I tip my cap off to you. I like your subjects and your headers, and your topics are actually interesting. So welcome back to the show, Slow-Mo.
Yo, first off, thank you. I love to hear that kind of like feedback where, you know, the channel's doing good and people are liking what I'm doing. And yeah, you know, I'm glad to be back. Thanks, man.
You got it, Slow-Mo. And then last but certainly not least, this is a man from New York. He's got quite the schedule coming up in the next week, but he's dedicated and he's here tonight. I want to say what's up to Noximus. Nox, welcome back to the show, buddy. Always a privilege to have you on.
Oh, man, thank you so much, man. It's always great to be here with you guys, man, especially with you here, Mooch, on Crossfire. You already know, bro. It's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great.
Pretty good, pretty neat.
You know it.
Yeah.
You already know.
I certainly
Battletoads.
hope
I heard there's a barber at a lemon tree zeking dudes and getting Battletoads carved into the back of their neck and shit. Let's talk about it. Let's get it.
Well, let's
Yeah.
get into some of this because I'm going to start with Crap here because Crap has made numerous videos on this over the course of the week, and we've got to kind of get into it. And it is the messaging that's coming from Microsoft as they continue to struggle getting the word out, as we hear from one
Media
executive.
bias.
Well, no, it's not media bias. This is out of their own mouths.
Media bias.
No, I
There's
swear to
clearly
God.
an agenda. No,
Well,
no,
come
no.
on.
There's clearly an agenda against Microsoft. Everybody wants to see Microsoft fail. We all know that
I'm just
Microsoft
reporting
has
the
never.
news.
No, listen. Microsoft never does anything wrong. They never confuse anybody. Their messaging is always on point. Next question.
You're okay. Well, that was great coverage. That was like
No,
the
no,
local news at
listen.
6 o'clock.
Listen, Microsoft, they're a trillion-dollar company, right? I mean, why would they have bad PR? They can afford the best PR people in the world. They're messaging that one week they're open to putting games on other platforms. The next day, they're not open to it. And then the next day, they're open to it again. So, I mean, we just have to kind of roll with the punches with Microsoft. I think it keeps us Xbox fans on our toes. Am I right, folks? Like, we're on
Certainly
our
does.
toes for this stuff. It certainly does. Like, they keep us guessing. But I think that keeps us all young at heart and even more in love with this crazy little thing called Xbox, man. I love it. God bless them, man.
I like your intro with that. Enrique, let me ask
Yeah,
you, because you've been
it's
pretty
fantastic,
vocal.
man. I love it.
Is Crap onto something here? Is it just that it's fine and dandy, or is there a problem?
Okay.
Enrique,
And Enrique.
did we lose Enrique? Well, I know Xbox
can't-
going to have a comment on it. That's for damn sure. Enrique will have to work back and getting his mic fixed. Xbox, are you okay with what you're hearing, depending on which executive and what day it is?
Hey, brother, like I said before, I think we said this, what was it, this past Wednesday on Xbox Nation? Yeah, because J Station was on. Yeah, that's what I call him from now on. But dude, one thing that is hampering Xbox, but not only that, but Microsoft itself is their messaging. You have one person come out
Shut
and say
your mouth.
one...
Their messaging is just fine, Xbox. Let's be real.
Who is
man.
this
They've got the
guy?
best- They've got the best messaging this side of the Mississippi. You know,
Hey, guys, I'm back, by the way.
just gotta.
Welcome back,
Oh,
Enrique.
there he is.
Welcome
There he
back,
is.
there he is.
Hey, make sure you guys, if you're an Xbox fan, like this channel, like this video, subscribe, all that kind of stuff.
Yes!
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And while you're at it, you could go over like my channel as well. But
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to read the article when they were talking about Game Pass being like on other like consoles and stuff like that. I definitely, you guys know, like I'm in the middle of moving right now, so it's been really hard to maintain, working, being on the shows and stuff like that. But if I just read it by the headlines, it's just a case of something that I have criticized them about for I don't know how long, as much as it's been going on, and their mixed messaging does not do them any justice whatsoever. So,
Well-
I mean, I'm just going to roll with that for now, man.
Well, and I'll go back to Enrique, and then I'll get to slow-mo as well. I mean, Enrique, here was the thing we were talking about, and Crap was kind of making a joke to it, saying media bias, because, that's the great Enrique
Yes.
Mooch rivalry. It's fantastic, to
Yes.
be honest with you. But in this case, it's not a case of media bias, right? I mean, this is out of their own mouths.
Well, it's no longer media bias. It's fear mongering now. If you point out facts,
Oh.
it's it's interesting because this has been an issue with them for 6 years now. Mixed messaging, and
Yeah.
it's just 1 minute it's like okay, what are you guys gonna do? Like last week it was no more exclusives on any other platforms, and then this week it's okay. Well, we want Game Pass to be on all platforms. And if you're a consumer, you're just sitting there scratching your head thinking, okay, well, what direction are they heading? Like, what's going on behind the scenes, and who's in control here of the messaging? It's kind of odd to me, and it's definitely a stark contrast between Sony and Microsoft. And the optics of it, I mean, if you're following this stuff, at least I think for Microsoft, doesn't really look good, because it's like, what's the roadmap here, guys? Like, what are you guys trying to do?
Enrique, I will say, like, it would have made more sense if they said something with xCloud in this, because at the end of the day, I feel like they would have no problem with streaming games when they say multiple devices, if it's on console, if Sony says yeah, then they
Yeah.
don't have a problem with that, and that would make more sense. But if they just say Game Pass, because we all know with Game Pass, you download the games and play them on whatever hardware until they come out with some type of announcement in relation to Game Pass and xCloud. That's what we know Game Pass is right now. So
Yeah.
that's why, to me,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense.
No, it does say Game Pass, and you're right. If they say, hey, you know what, we want Game Pass and xCloud to be on, multiple devices. Yeah, that makes total sense. That makes complete sense. But to say, oh, we want Game Pass everywhere, that's just
It's
it makes
contradicting.
no sense considering consider what they said last week.
And let me say real quick, shout out to the Super Chat. Sin Vendetta, very good friend of the channel and myself personally. He says, Mooch, shout out to you and the rest of the panel. Glad to be listening to CrossFire live while I'm working. Sin Vendetta, great to have you here, buddy. Can't wait till you join me on the stream again. Slow-Mo, what's your take on this? I mean, this is not even an instance of, oh, you guys are kind of really stretching out the truth here. You're kind of embellishing. We've literally had in 7 to 10 days 3 different executives saying 3 different things. And you're kind of like, and don't get me wrong, each of them in their own respect weren't really stepping on each other's toes. But when you say exclusives from here on out are going to be on Xbox and PC only, and then a few days later they're like, but we want to make sure that Game Pass, we're open, I'm paraphrasing, folks. We're open to having Game Pass on all devices. You have to, and platforms. That's contradicting because first-party games are a part of Game Pass. That's why you're paying for Game Pass. That's where the value is, right?
Exactly, and I'm starting to kind of wonder if it's either one or two things. It's either one, they have a huge messaging issue where Phil is not letting them know exactly what they need to say in public, and that there are things that they are like mulling over privately that shouldn't be said publicly but are being said publicly. Or there really is like a power struggle thing going on where certain people in Xbox leadership have a certain idea where Xbox is going to be in the future. And when they get asked certain questions, they're like, well, this is how I feel Xbox should be. And so they say those things. So that's why you get one executive saying, look, our exclusives are our exclusives. You're not going to find them on other platforms. And then you have another executive saying, well, hey, we want Game Pass everywhere. We want it on your toaster. We want it on PlayStation. We want it on Switch. And it's just like, and we're the consumer just sitting here like, wait, what? What's happening here? Make up your mind.
Yeah.
Every couple of days, you're telling me something different. And at this point, like, I really don't know what to say or believe or who to believe at all. And so the next time you come out and say something, I'm just going to be kind of sitting back like, okay, do I trust you? Do I believe you? Probably not. So, and their competition has one focus, one direction, and it is obvious in the actions that they take in marketing their platform, putting the games out. We don't really see this with Xbox. So it's, they really need to get that. That's like, to me, that's like their biggest weakness.
Well,
yeah.
I completely,
the marketing, all of it is absolutely doo-doo butter. It's terrible. Doo-doo butter.
Can let me chime in on this right quick, man, before we move on. Look, man, what Microsoft is doing here, yes, their messaging is all screwed up, but I think we're all well aware of that, right? Nobody, they don't know their ass from their elbow over there. They put out one message right after the other, right? And they're conflicting messages, right? But ultimately, I do believe that xCloud and Game Pass are the same thing. Game Pass will become xCloud. And that's why when they say they want Game Pass anywhere, like I said, their messaging has been asked, but that is true. They want it everywhere, but it's just going to be called xCloud. It's going to be that service being brought everywhere that they can stream it to. And if you have xCloud / Game Pass and own a console or a PC, you'll be able to download said, games to have it run more efficiently. But if you can't download it to your PlayStation, run it on the app. I mean, if Sony would ever put it there, which they wouldn't, but put it on your tablet, put it on your phone, put it wherever, put it on Steam.
That's
This is
actually
more genius moves by Microsoft. That makes it more money, which means more games for us, the consumers. This is really a smart move on their part. I mean, we can still play our games on Xbox, so what's it matter if they have exclusives, quote unquote, right? I mean, as long as we can play our games, then we should be happy. I mean, who cares if they only sell 5 million units next generation? It doesn't matter. As long as we can still play them on our Xbox, we should be good, you know? I mean, sure, Sony might outdo them 150 million to 10 million, but at the end of the day, as long as they're making money, that's all I care about. I'm not even a person that's
software and doing
sure. I mean, their software sales that pays my bills. Them selling software pays my bills. So of course,
it does feed my habit, though, my hobby.
Of course, it's going to be great. So all we have to do is hope that they continue to sell. I mean, it would be great if they could sell 100 million consoles, because then we could see that, you know, if you had that many install base, you could actually have the chance to sell even more software and services. But Phil Spencer's the man. He's a genius. You know, he's the guy. You gotta trust the process around these parts. 5 years, I say we give him 50 years to turn things around, and then maybe if he hasn't, then we can maybe start to maybe grumble a little bit. But some of you lack faith and direction, and you guys should be ashamed of yourself.
You're like Phil Spencer's version of Moses. That's great.
He's turned quite a few things around when it comes
I mean,
to
he's
the
turned
Xbox
it completely
platform.
around. Exactly, man. We went from 14 million to 28 million in a matter of 4 years. That's brilliance right there. Let's all clap for Phil Spencer and congratulate him. What a great person. What a great man.
All right,
you know what?
Crap, you gotta put the pom-poms down for a second.
Hey, hold on. I went out today and bought a pair of shoes with no laces because I wanted to be like Phil.
Dude,
so
I don't.
If you don't do the
I
same,
walk around
are
my
you
shoes
even an Xbox fan? Are you even an Xbox fan if you don't do that? I'm just saying.
All right. Now, Mooch, one thing I do want to say, which is it kind of reiterates what me and Knox have said. If they say Game Pass on like multiple devices, we all know Game Pass with PC and console. Now, when you start bringing in other consoles like PlayStation, if that's what they really meant, and I don't think that's what they really meant, they need the coded game for PS4 because they are coded differently. They are built differently for the Xbox as opposed to the PlayStation and stuff like that. That's why it doesn't make sense when it's like, oh, Game Pass on multiple devices, you know, even other consoles and stuff like that. Because
what about Game Pass? What about Game Pass streaming to a Switch?
And that's why I said that. That's why I said streaming, you have your server farms dealing with running the game. And we all know the server farms are Xbox hardware. So it's no problem there.
Right, they're the blades. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. That they're calling it Xbox Game Pass, but eventually that is xCloud. That's the evolution of Game Pass is xCloud. Like it just is.
No, it's like the evolution is like a Netflix type service, man.
Correct. They're getting right now. They're just getting their foot in the door. They're and I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just trying to like break down their strategy and why their messaging is so screwed up and why they say, well, Game Pass, if we could put it everywhere, we will put it everywhere. Yeah, because they want to, because what they really meant to say was xCloud. If we could put it anywhere, we will put it anywhere.
Let me interrupt real quick. I got a bunch of super chats. Sir X-Man says, Mooch, remember the math. I do have a tweet that me and Sir X-Man were talking about that I am going to get into later in the show. So Sir X-Man, I will not forget that math. Stop Six Stock says, I like this crap gamer. I'm not sure if he knows which one's speaking though, Stop Six. Stay tuned for the rest of this episode.
We love Xbox and Xbox loves us.
That's great. That sounds like a tattoo waiting to happen. Mr. Twister says, Mooch, did someone clone crap and replace him? That might be.
I just got to say, like, think of this. A company that thinks they're so progressive, they give us hope every single year that we're going to get something big from the next E3. Like, God bless them for doing that for us, the fans.
God bless them, everyone.
Every year they give us hope for the next year. Does Sony do that? Well, of course. But, I mean, Microsoft really goes all out because they don't give us anything each and every year. But it's like when you get something, it's all that much more exciting. I got to tell you, man, next G3, guys, lock it in. That's going to be the year.
It's like that one shilling they gave at the end of Scrooged. Yes,
exactly.
They were so excited.
Can we have another? Maybe. I mean, listen, Greenberg said it best. And even at this XO, I'm expecting huge things. Get your megaton megaphones ready because they said if you thought Gamescom was great. Wait until XO, man. So I'm excited about XO. You guys, the mega.
You haven't left your house since that announcement.
I haven't. I've been waiting. I've been waiting to record some amazing Megaton videos. I've been asking around what are some of the leaks that are coming out, because when Greenberg says that there's going to be some exciting surprises, you know that there's going to be some prizes, and I'm sure some of them might be controller colors or somebody else in there, like
don't ruin the whole XO crap.
Okay, my bad.
You know what I mean?
White gloves. That's all I'm saying.
We've got
White
stuff
gloves.
here. We got other topics. We don't want to ruin XO. Failed Pyromancer
You're
says,
right, man.
"Stop
You're right.
crap. Think of the children."
I will. I am,
So-
man. I don't want to overstimulate them. Sorry.
Well, listen, moving on from that, because, I mean, listen, as much as that is a hot topic of this week, and it's been all over Twitter and all over YouTube, and we know that basically Microsoft's messaging is very confusing, I do want to kind of bring another subject up. The Insomniac buyout by Sony, and now that's kind of like last week. But does this encourage Xbox to buy bigger studios?
No, why? Look, they got In Exile Entertainment, Compulsion Games, Undead Labs. God, what more do we want?
So they don't need anyone else, crap?
We got Look, if
Theory?
Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. If they wanted to buy Insomniac Games, they would have. So there's a clear reason why they didn't buy them. We've trust Phil Spencer and the process. They didn't want to pick up Insomniac Games. I think that's kudos to them. Let Sony deal with that trash studio. We don't even want their games on Xbox.
Oh,
there's a reason we didn't buy
Xbox. Xbox, do you want to
we
chime
didn't
in
buy
on this?
Sunset Overdrive. We didn't buy Sunset Overdrive for a reason. Let Sony fans have that crap. Boo.
Crap, this is not a solo cast. Listen.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Xbox, do you want to chime in on that?
I am just shocked at what's coming out of Crab's mouth right now. But yo, when
So overrated. What more Ratchet and Clank? Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank is one of the
another
best games I
Spider-Man?
played on my PS4.
Who wants to play another Spider-Man game? Come on.
See, here's the thing. When you look at Insomniac Games, yeah, they've had a lot of little games that went kind of like multi-plat. But when it came to their bigger games, the Ratchet and Clanks, the Resistance, and Spider-Man as well, they always worked with Sony and PlayStation. I don't think Insomniac was on Microsoft's table in terms of acquiring them. I feel like if Microsoft or Xbox went over there and talked about an acquisition, they would have just kind of laughed and closed the door. Whereas at least, Sony and the PlayStation brand, they have worked with them over and over and over again. So I feel like Sony and PlayStation, they had the inside lane on if ever Insomniac was to go first party under any other company, it would have been PlayStation. That's common sense, man.
Well, they had the inside lane and the install base. You know what I'm saying?
But they had the inside lane above that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Insomniac, would you even realistically listen for Sony to? I bet you whatever Sony offered them and whatever was their agreement financially, Microsoft would have had to double that shit for Insomniac to come to them. Like seriously, because I mean, why would they?
Smart move by Phil. They can invest that in more services. I think that's the wave of the future. We've got to get more services for Xbox fans. That's what we've all been asking for the past 5 years.
I want to
so
pay
the
more.
the more services we can get, the better. We don't.
Hold on.
And anyway, look, Insomniac Games is a AAA studio. Let's be honest here. We need those lower level guys, man. I think we need something like a smaller studio, something that would fit nicely in the Game Pass alongside great titles like Bleeding Edge and Battletoads. Like you want something to sit comfortably in that little spot right there that's going to do well. And I think that's what Microsoft will do. I think at the end of the day, Microsoft is going to pick up probably another couple studios, and I think that's going to be probably best. If I were them, I would pick up, one of those smaller studios that does like some, maybe that studio that Sony has worked with in the past that does like double A's. I forget the name of them, but I think that'd be it'd be smart to pick up a smaller studio like that because I think that's what the fans want. Like the AAA space, like let other people worry about that. Microsoft should really just focus on what they're best at. You know what I mean? Like zombie simulators and stuff like that. Like 60.
Well, let me
they want to stay between that 60 and 70.
Crap, let me get the other
range.
people that came all the way home to be on the show on real quick.
Hey,
So,
no need to spend too much money there, guys. That's smart on them.
Hey, Crap, where's the
Save your money.
harmonica?
Yo,
It's great. It's great.
This is so entertaining. I'm in tears right now.
Yo, hell yeah.
Well, let me ask Slow-Mo a quick
people so
question.
confused
Slow-Mo,
in
what's
the
your
chat
take
right
on the? I didn't get a chance to talk to Slow-Mo about this. What's your take on the Insomniac buyout? And do you think that this will actually lead to either more of these types of studios being bought by Sony, or will this encourage Xbox to actually go out there? Because let's be honest, a lot of people say to me, "Hey, Mooch, listen, the Insomniac buy, okay, has to be comparable to Playground Games and Obsidian." And the thing I said on Xbox Nation, and I'll say it again tonight, is that
They couldn't touch
Insomniac
Obsidian.
is a proven developer, you know, and
Can't wait
Obsidian
for Outer Worlds 4 exclusive on Xbox.
Obsidian and you got a Playground Games. Those guys there, Obsidian's focused on Fallout type of games, and Playground is proven in racers. So to me personally, that's fine. They're very good in that, but we don't know what Playground Games can do outside of Forza yet. Where we've seen everything from Song of the Deep to PS4 games like Spider-Man and the Resistance. We just seen this unbelievable portfolio that Insomniac's put out. It's kind of like proven talent versus a draft pick. Do you see where I'm going with this, Slow-Mo?
Yeah, I can see that for Playground, but not Obsidian, because Obsidian is size-wise, they're the same size.
So you got Obsidian and Insomniac as a similar buy?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Is a proven
tell 'em,
developer
Slow-Mo.
that
Go
has had AAA
No,
games
no.
before. They
Go ahead,
have.
brother.
Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish.
We ain't gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna cut you off and then tell
No,
you.
no,
I'm saying,
no.
Let Slow-Mo go.
You know how I be, Knox. You know how I be. I got
Get him, Slow-Mo. Get him.
This is what I'm saying. Obsidian has made that they're making now their own IP that it looks good. We haven't played it yet. It looks good, but they have also taken IP that other people have made well, and then also followed up and made it even better or comparable game. Example: Knights of the Old Republic 2, Fallout New Vegas. They have always been a veteran developer. They come from Interplay, so that none of those guys over there are like your compulsion games where they're just getting their feet wet. These are veteran devs who have been around the block a
That's
time
true.
or two. So I don't really see anything outside of the fact that Insomniac has done more original IP to them. That otherwise, I mean, like, they are comparable to me now. I get Playground because Playground has been making nothing but racers, and now they're branching out. Can they do a action RPG? We don't know yet. But Obsidian has done they are primarily an RPG studio, but they can branch out and do different things. We've seen it before. So yeah, I think Obsidian's good. I think
I like where you're going with that. I got to be honest with you, you made one of the best cases I've heard all week long in the retrospective of both companies. But I think at the end of the day, Slow-Mo, let me just, and I'll say this, and then please do add more if you want. But if I said to you right now, Slow-Mo, you're a company that makes video games, and I say to you, you can pick Insomniac or Obsidian, who would you take?
I'm going to take Insomniac.
Right. I mean, and don't get me wrong, that does not, by the way, you choosing that does not change all the points that you made.
You had to think about it too, though, brother.
No,
It
well,
wasn't
That
just
depends what you want, though. That
There's
depends
nothing
what
to
you
think
want,
about,
though.
man. We want that. We want Obsidian Games, man. They do those great top-down isometric RPGs. I mean, Pillars of Eternity 2. Are you guys serious? That's
But
the
what
new
about
hotness.
South? But they do have South Park: The Stick of Truth. They do have
South Park: The Stick of
Knights
Truth
the
was
Republic 2. They got
good.
Fallout.
Yeah, Knights.
As
Night-
far as
well,
RPGs,
but here's-
depend on what you want. If you're looking for like that action adventure type of game with that third person perspective and all that, you're gonna go with Insomniac. You know what I mean? You got even their platformers, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man. You know their action adventure games. They're proven there. Even
For sure. I mean, plus we've heard that Obsidian has 4 teams. They're probably working on 4 huge AAA exclusives as we speak, and everybody that says otherwise is just fear mongering. So,
well, here, speaking of that,
I gotta believe in these companies.
I got a couple of super chats here.
Hey, we've got.
You being real messy, bro.
He is messy.
Listen. I'm more excited. I'm more excited for what they haven't shown us, guys. Come on.
I want last week's crap back.
I'm
Listen,
super excited.
hold on. I got Stop 6 Stock here. He says Microsoft told me to get a PS5 and not the next Xbox because they don't care about consoles they sell. Shout out to Stop 6 Stock. I appreciate it. Mr. Twister says, crap, please stop, even though it's funny. Carlos,
what, man?
Carlos Torres
I'm a huge
says,
Xbox fan.
they said, nah, Xbox, we want to make AAA games, not the AA games. Battletoads! Games we are going with Sony. Great panel, Mooch. Thanks, Carlos. I appreciate that. Shout out to all you
man.
guys.
I can't wait. One of my all-time favorites.
Well, you know, that's something that's such a small thing, but let's discuss that really quick, Battletoads. I mean, because that's a great little small piece while everybody
I can't
kind of
wait, man.
Well,
You mean
Xbox
that
Studio.
MS
It's gonna.
Which
Yeah,
one,
it's gonna
Slow-mo?
put Studio Delala. The
That's
Studio
you mean
Delala
that
on the
game that it
on
looks
the
like
map.
it was made with MS Paint.
Yeah, it was literally made. It
Oh,
looks like it's an
yeah.
iOS game.
Yeah.
That's messy slow-mo.
Hey,
I-
you don't
well-
even need quick
Well,
movements
no,
or good hit
it looked
detection.
messy.
Just let him
Yeah.
do it. Just let him go.
Yeah.
But
It
Xbox-
looked
You don't
messy.
even need it, you know.
Xbot,
Just saying.
are you a little bit discouraged after that footage? I mean, you've been
No, not-
promoting it, and that's not what you wanted.
What? Why would you
Is
say?
it?
Why
Is
would you
it?
You tried a Jedi mind trick on me?
I did it. These are not the video games you're looking for. Go ahead.
Dude, and I said this off air. I'm gonna say it on air because you guys know whatever I say.
Yeah,
in the
absolutely,
background, I'll say
Xbot.
it. Yo, one of the main reasons why I'm excited about this, right? First off, Saturday morning cartoon type style. I dig it. I know, maybe there's other people out there who don't. I get that, but for me, I dig it. I see like the combos
You tell
where,
a bot, man.
where the toads are changing into like a jackhammer and stuff like that. It looks like they got deeper into. You remember the first like Battletoads when they used to swing and the anvil used to come out and stuff like that? It seems like they doubled down on that type of stuff from the original Battletoads. And
They triple down on it, really.
at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I am getting this game on Game Pass. I'm already paying.
Yeah, but Xbox,
for a
don't you notice? Do you see
subscription
the trend we've been saying week in and week out, and now it's kind of coming to
Yeah,
fruition?
and that
Where we're
is
using
whack.
we're using that
That's
as a
whack.
crutch.
No, but
Right.
I'm giving you my honest reasons, and you guys, there are people out there from week to week always talk about, they're gonna put AA filler into Game Pass. They're gonna put AA filler and stuff like that, which I don't necessarily feel that AA games are bad. I feel that the gameplay that was shown on YouTube was absolutely horrendous because the guy who was controlling the toad was swinging while the rat was already dead on the ground, didn't know what the hell they were doing. I think Enrique even said off the air, they were just button mashing to all hell. All right? At the end of the day, there could be a lot more to it, and you're just seeing some crappy gameplay from it. And that's what I'm looking at, yo.
Crappy
I mean, the
gameplay
game's
when
probably
not
the
even
characters
crappy.
are
I mean, come
moving
on.
Well,
so
'cause
slow.
When
No,
that when that review guy was playing Cuphead terribly, you still didn't think Cuphead was a bad game.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
You knew
So-
Cuphead was a quality game
exactly.
being
So
played
it was
by
being
a guy
played
who
poorly.
I don't know.
couldn't
There were
touch
people
that-
out
that
there
game.
talking about. There were people out there talking about. You talking about the guy who couldn't get past?
Yeah, the guy who couldn't
tutorial?
jump, the guy who couldn't double jump.
But they automatically-
shot,
all right,
whatever his name is.
Because it was a tutorial, they automatically put it on him. And when you saw that he couldn't jump and dash forward to get over a pedestal, that it was clearly on him. But when I was watching the gameplay, I don't know how many times they took 4 or 5 swings on something that was already dead on the ground. Like they were just
maybe the input lag was so bad with the slow swing that it
yo,
took
maybe
he
this,
didn't realize
maybe
that he
I'm
was
a
already
millionaire.
dead.
I think
heard?
even if they're button mashing though, they may be button mashing, but you're still getting a good sense and idea of what the gameplay is. It moved very
I
slow.
think the
for a
Cuphead
side-scroller
relation
beat 'em up game.
That's the best example I heard where Xbot, you're
Not really,
saying
though.
you're blaming the person playing the game. The game is
Well-
still the game. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't look like a good game. Shout out to Mr. Twister. He says, Knox, please say Battletoads. And then we got Valentine, who also says Battletoads. I don't know.
There we go.
Valentine looks like he's excited for it.
Can I do the Battletoads thing?
Sure.
Battletoads!
Man, I'll tell you something. I don't know if you have much longer with that one, Xbot. I don't know. I feel bad because you know what? I got to be honest with you. Even though we all kind of gave Xbot some shit, Xbot made some
my
great
Xbox-
points.
All my Xbots out there, they will be yelling Battletoads.
Well, Valentine,
right?
he's a big fan of
And
yours. He
that
wanted
will
to hear
be
that.
the most marketing that Battletoads will get before launch will be Xbot and all his Xbots yelling Battletoads.
Yeah, but Mooch, who asked for this game? This is why I'm confused. Like, I can think of so many more rare games. I would have preferred Grab by the Ghoulies.
People have been yelling for a new Battletoads.
We wanted a Battletoads that was going to have, again, more TLC, more tender love and care put into it, and we're not getting it.
Graphics.
No, Xbot. You know what?
Dude,
we're past that. That was years ago.
Brother, how many times have people shown the little GIF with the Battletoad from Killer Instinct, and people are like, "That's what we wanted."
Well, but that's rare. But that's Rare's fault for teasing it, though, right? You put them in Killer Instinct. You put them in Killer Instinct.
The art style of the game it's in.
Okay, and you set a precedence by doing so. And the thing they did, because you see that right now when you're thinking new age, you're not thinking Super NES or NES Battletoads, dude. You're thinking, oh shit, Xbox One Battletoads. Look how that motherfucker looked on Killer Instinct. I love a game like that. I love a 3D platformer.
Yeah,
that Saturday morning cartoon art style put together with HDR, I swear it's gonna look really good on.
Shout out to Thumbs in the super chat. He says, new drinking game. Every time crap cuts someone off, I take a shot. Rest in peace, Thumbs.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Let me cut you off real quick.
There you go, crap. Carlos Crespin says Game Pass has turned into an excuse not to not hold Microsoft accountable for the low-quality first-party titles. Fanboys are the real fear-mongers. That's what and listen, I got news, Carlos, thanks for the point you make there. I do want to bring that up, though. I mean, we're getting to a point in Xbot. I pick on you only because you make great points.
I got a response. When you're done, I got a response.
And I want to hear it, to be honest with you. But like you've said this time and time out, every time anything ends up being a bit subpar after you've promoted it, you go, well, it's a Game Pass, so I don't really care. That's not really an excuse, but go ahead, defend it. I want to hear it.
No, well, see, the thing is, like, people have said that there are going to be AA games in Game Pass that it is absolutely needed for a service like that to have AA mixed in with AAA. Now, you look at Gears is coming right around the corner. Big AAA, multiplayer, single player, everything you could possibly want right there for you. So why can't I have a AA Battletoads?
You can, but why can't you get a good AA Battletoads?
Yeah, the problem isn't that the game is AA. The problem is that it sucks. Look, it looks bad. There are AA
I'm sorry,
games.
I didn't know you guys have played it already. Like
I have eyes.
I am
holding. I have eyes, and my eyes
well,
don't lie.
Slow-mo, listen, I gotta say something. Thank God Slow-mo just said that. Slow-mo, I said that a year ago, and literally, you get like absolutely tossed into the river for that. Hear me out. I've said this for a number of times. You know, people are like, don't knock it till you try it. Now, don't get me wrong. I get that. I truly, truly do. And there's a couple of times throughout this gaming YouTube experience, I've found that you do need to play the game. But Slow-mo was right.
Hold on. But
you know when it looks bad.
I tried Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And to this day, I get hung from the rafters for having an opinion that isn't with the mass majority when it comes to that game. All right, and I played it. I tried it. I didn't like it.
But Xbot. Here's the difference. You didn't like.
Before that, I was arguing with Mooch on how good that game was gonna be.
Right. But Xbot, you didn't like the game. That's a certain personal preference. You can say you didn't like it. I respect your opinion. I'm not going to talk you out of it. But it's a good game. You just didn't like it. This is actually technically. This looks terrible.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, there's a difference. I respect your opinion, Xbot.
Recognizing that a game is quality, but it may not be your jam. Like, I don't care about Dark Souls games. Like, just looking at them makes me want to just like
not play it, right?
Out the window. But I don't play those games. I do respect the fact that people who like those games consider them quality. And I would say there's a whole bunch of people that like those games.
Castle Crashers. Stuff like that from last generation blew up last generation, and they have a similar art style.
But
so what's to say?
But it's not the art. That's the game. Yeah. It's not the art style. See, that's the thing. The graphics are not what's being debated. It's
dude. They had Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder playing the freaking game, man.
Yeah, but I don't. Again,
does that make up for the slow movements and the bad hit detection?
Bad hit detection.
And the combat just doesn't look that inspiring. It's just like punch, move back and forth.
Here's the deal. Because
and who showed off the game? Who showed this off?
They showed it at Gamescom, right?
Gamescom.
Yeah,
so this was official. This was Microsoft.
No, this wasn't Microsoft. No, it wasn't Microsoft. It was a different.
but they were showing it off at Gamescom.
Yeah.
That's what
playable.
Microsoft. That's what they put up to be played at Gamescom. So if it plays like that, and then they happen to show the footage of the worst players on the planet Earth playing it, again, that's on them. And again, I mean, it doesn't matter how bad the players. You would be able to tell.
But
Damn, that guy is just terrible. Damn, that guy is terrible. But the game looks like ass. Like the game looks.
And here's
it's
the
like Crackdown. You just knew that shit was a bad game. Like you could see.
I liked Crackdown. I like Crackdown.
I know you liked it. I get it. That's cool that you enjoyed it. It's just the same thing that Mooch said, but in reverse, right? Like you don't like Spider-Man, and that's fine that you don't like it. It's still a quality title. It's still a great game. You like Crackdown.
What makes it a quality title?
Everything.
No, give me some examples, brother.
All right, I'm gonna everything. All the content that's available in the game to do. If it's not your bag, that's on you.
So,
visually,
so
it's stunning. Visually, it's stunning.
So is Crackdown.
There's a lot to do. No, it isn't. Crackdown is.
Oh yeah, it is.
No, don't even compare it, brother.
Especially at night. I'm not comparing it. I'm not saying this is.
It's not on the level. It's not on the level with Spider-Man though. It's not on the level with Spider-Man. Nowhere near it.
But
are
it
we
is
comparing
stunning.
Spider-Man to Crackdown?
Oh.
That's what.
No,
That's
I'm
what
not
Xbox is
comparing.
doing.
He said the graphics are stunning in Spider-Man. I said the graphics are stunning in Crackdown as well.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, me
it's the graphics are okay.
Yeah, the graphics are okay in Crackdown. Like at
They
nighttime,
are.
they pop a little bit, but
I
it's
had a
not.
lot of fun. I had a lot of fun
At
playing
nighttime, if you
Crackdown, but
squint,
it's
at
apples and
night, if you
oranges.
squint and turn off the light and close the curtains a little bit and set
But
the
what else,
freaking
brother?
mood music. It's great.
Hey, if you sit across the street and
The
squint,
content.
yeah, that's great.
Across the street.
the contact, the combat system, the visuals, the story. I enjoyed every aspect of the game. Everything that there was to enjoy about it, I enjoyed. There was no multiplayer, anyway, that I'm aware of. You know what I mean? But the game was good. Everything about the game was great. It was an all-round phenomenal package.
Well, one of you guys mentioned Gamescom, which is a great lead into our next subject. But real quick, I'll pay the super chat here tribute. He says, Sir X-Man says, love the new look of Crossfire, go gadang. And then he corrected it real quick after they both said it. He says, great job, Matrix Gamer. Crossfire looks awesome. Absolutely. Shout out to Jay the Matrix Gamer. Thank you for helping me out with this. Wouldn't be the same without him. But I will say this much, guys. When it came to Gamescom, I'm not going to lie to you. So we got the information that Gears 5 campaign was going to be shown. And I'm really interested. Me and Crap had a great discussion with Nox and Xbot the other day. But I'm really interested to hear what Slow-Mo has to say about this and Enrique. To be honest with you, I was a little taken back and disappointed. Not in what we saw. Gears 5 campaign, from what we saw in those cutscenes, looked absolutely amazing. Let me say that again for people that are going to only hear it once and then go off and type something else. It looked absolutely amazing. But when I said I wanted to see Gears 5 gameplay, and this is going to be the Gears that actually takes the Coalition to the next level, I thought personally that I thought we were going to see actual gameplay, and I thought we were going to see how we left the linearity of Gears 4 and kind of took that ice skiff and went in different directions with the story. All we saw, pretty much, we saw a few seconds of gameplay, but we saw cutscenes again. So I'll start with Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo, do you see where I'm coming from, first of all? And second of all, what was your take after seeing it? Were you content with the cutscenes?
I was content with the cutscenes. It's what I expected. I didn't expect them.
But
to
is it what
show
you wanted?
actual gameplay. I mean, not really. I wanted to see gameplay, but I don't think it's going to be bad. Like the cutscenes I saw, the trailer I saw, that was a damn good trailer. So for me, at this point, it's like the trailer was good enough to make up for the fact that I didn't see gameplay, and now I'm just like, I know they're just not going to show us any gameplay until the game comes out. Fine, I'm cool with it at this point. I give up Xbox.
And there you go. Okay, so you're actually with me on this, because I'm with you in what you said. You're content with what you saw. That looked beautiful, no doubt about it. But that's not exactly when I thought, Rod, why would you fly Rod to Germany for something we could have gotten a tweet, or we could have just got on Inside Xbox?
He was going to go there anyway for the debut of Horde.
I know, Xbot, absolutely. But
Xbot,
okay, Xbot.
Common sense in there, brother.
It's not really common sense. That's
no,
it's kind of lunacy. But listen, here's my point. Hear me out. when you keep going to horde mode, and you did a really good job of describing what was exciting to you, like you could see through the walls and the 2 new weapons.
The
Like
super
it's just
abilities
horde
that you
mode again.
learn.
Like you don't need to fly Rod out to show.
Bro,
Come on,
there's a
Xbot.
Berserker
Xbot.
right in the middle of the horde mode, man.
We had the flying things the last
you
time. Who
played
cares?
Dude, have you played Gears?
Yes.
Seeing a Berserker in there in horde mode is one of the craziest things that I think I saw when they were talking about horde mode, man. Besides everything else, at the end of the day, Mooch, I feel for you that you're disappointed that you didn't see what you wanted to see, but they did what they were supposed to get the hype rolling.
I think they did pretty much the bare minimum.
What?
They weren't even going to do that if it wasn't for me.
If it was
Yes, crap. Go for it. No, I mean, and listen,
I'm
let me
just saying.
you make a good
Let 'em
point.
know, crap.
Halo Moco 17 says to Xbot 448 in the Mooch voice, which I'm going to try and imitate myself. If I said I loved Life of Black Tiger and should be Game of the Year nominated, you would think I was out of my mind. I'm not sure what that actually means, but I want to say thank you. I appreciate the super chat. But I mean,
brother, I was back there when people started saying Resogun should have been Game of the Year, and I didn't say anything to them. So
well, that was lunacy
who
too.
said that? Yeah, who
That
said
was
that
Colin
crazy?
Moriarty.
Oh, Colin Moriarty's crazy. Then.
Well, Knox, what did you think?
I
Knox,
like
what
Colin.
was your take on Gears? So when you saw with Gears 5,
right.
that you're content? You're good?
Look, I'm gonna say it again.
Pretty good, pretty neat?
To me, yes. To me, it was pretty good, pretty neat, man. Look, it teased, it did its job, right? Which is something that you gotta just kind of, all right, Microsoft, shit, you got one right. I gotta give it to you at least, right? Because I gotta give it to them. Yes, it wasn't what I wanted. I can agree with you on that. I would have loved to see some real gameplay. Like, I would have loved to see it, but this is fine for now. It at least teased as to some of the new mechanics. So I know there's new stuff to do in the game, new powers that you can use, how we're going to use them, that skiff, how we're going to use that. It does have me intrigued. So
you don't know how you're going to use the skiff except for move to the left,
well,
move to the right.
Oh no!
Right? I mean, is that all we're doing? I thought the skiff was going to take us to different parts of the game, like the boat did in God of War. I thought it was going to open up a little bit.
It might. I really.
But why
think
not
that
show
is
that?
what it's gonna do.
Listen, guys, if this is to Slow Mo and Knox, both of you guys, which I understand you guys are being content with it, and that's fine. But my question to you guys is, do you remember when we saw the footage? I don't remember if it was E3 or what the event, it could have been PSX. I don't remember what it was. But they showed God of War, and they showed actually Kratos going through and throwing the axe kill. It was an actual gameplay in motion for whatever it was, a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. And that was like, okay, now you know. You want to talk about the game, now you saw it. All I saw was the same cutscene with Kate on the skiff. That's not telling me that the skiff takes me somewhere.
Brother.
No, well,
similar. It didn't show any.
They spun it around and they showed that they were going right into a huge storm. There was 2 of those big ass tornadoes. The whole sky turned red. It was dynamic. It was insane.
Nothing you just said tells me what I do on the skiff. It doesn't say anything. All you're telling me is the sky turned red.
You know what you got to do?
Play the
You
game.
gotta play the game, brother.
I mean, at the end of the day, Mooch, it is true, man.
Xbot, if I ever open a sandwich joint, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have 15 sandwiches on the menu, and they're all going to be called sandwich. And then when you order a sandwich, I'm going to give you one. And you go, well, what is it? Well, eat it.
Well, no, if you make a cutscene,
I don't want to eat it till I know what's in it.
If you make a cutscene of each sandwich, I can pretty much guess what's in it, and I'll pick the right one.
Chris, shout out to Crispy Bomb in the chat. Must be Crispy's first time to CrossFire. Who's yelling? I don't.
Nobody yells here.
He says,
Crispy,
"Mooch, relax."
What a great trailer that was, right? I mean, like it did what they had to do. They weren't going to do it, to be honest with you. Rod said at the end of it or whatever.
Thanks to crap, they did it.
Thank you, crap.
And people, people laugh at it. Hey, people laugh at it, but Rod said verbatim why they decided to show that. He said that they were fans, they were unhappy that weren't believing in the product, that thought they were hiding something, and they wanted to get something out there to get people excited because they weren't going to show anything until the release date on the 6th regarding the campaign. So I'm happy that they showed something. I thought it was pretty cool the way that they handled it. I'm still not sold on the protagonist, but I think that the gameplay is going to be good, and I think that the game overall is going to be, pretty good. And we need something like that on Xbox after we've had the last 4, 5, 6 games that have come out that have really stunk it up. So I think finally to get one that they invested a little bit of time and money into. Maybe these the coalition, at least you could tell they try.
Yep.
Like most of Microsoft's developers, I think they just do that shit for the paycheck, and you can kind of tell. Like that, no way anybody could tell me that Crackdown 3 was done by a developer who took pride in their work, or State of Decay. Like these games are just paycheck games, in my opinion. They're so bad. So and I hate to say that because I'm sure people will disagree with me, but it just some of those games are so bad. Like how can people put that out as their work? You know what I mean? Like you got to put stuff out that you're proud of, and I don't see how anybody could be proud of that stuff.
What do you think, Enrique? What's your take? I mean, Enrique, do you think that what was shown was just enough, or too little, or maybe it was over the top?
For me, it was. I guess I'm almost like with everyone else. Like we got something, like we weren't going to get anything.
Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, I think and
Dude, it was fire, man.
I will say this though, I will say this: it was one of the better looking Gears trailers I've seen.
Okay.
In the Gears franchise, and it did get me really excited. Like
they used 9-inch
some of those
nails,
big
brother.
set pieces and like the big boss battles they showed. I'm like, okay, this is Gears. Like this is what I wanted to see. Now, I would have wanted to see more like gameplay footage, like they did with like God of War. But I think my biggest criticism is why did it have to come to us complaining about or not complain, but asking for single player campaign footage. This should have been a moment that they had at E3 and not Gamescom.
Thank you, Enrique.
I mean, that to me, that's the biggest criticism out of this. So, like, look,
at the same time, we do have to give them credit for actually listening and then adjust.
That's what I just said.
I understand that. Like, we wish they would have just did it from the very start. That was kind of like a no-brainer kind of thing. But at least in some cases, or at least with the coalition and Rod Ferguson, because I still believe Rod Ferguson runs his own show, and Matt Booty don't tell him to do anything. Like he tells Matt Booty what he wants, and Booty goes do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you even see? I mean, even Cliffy B was hyped.
But
Cliffy B on Twitter was hyped about the trailer. I don't know if you guys saw his response. He's like, "Hey, people, can you stop tweeting me asking me to save the Gears of War?" He's like, it looked awesome or something like that. So it got Cliffy's stamp of approval, but I think it looks awesome. I'm really excited by it. But what we saw, so.
If I had to give one piece of criticism, it is that from what we saw, they promised that it was going to be like they're not playing it safe anymore. It looks a lot like the other Gears that we played, like with some of that stuff. So I think that unless they're completely hiding some stuff, I think it's very still much a safe Gears game, at least from the looks of it.
That's kind of my takeaway, and I agree with Crap on the criticism a bit.
I don't know though, man. You're shooting through walls in this, man. That changes Gears tremendously, man. And I know you can't use this in multiplayer. I'm gonna assume you can't do any of these special power stuff.
That's only in horde mode.
That's horde mode,
and campaign, horde mode and campaign.
Can't you possess the enemy too in campaign with the robot or whatever it is?
I didn't see anything that said you could do all the additional special abilities that each character has in horde mode and campaign. I may be wrong, but I do know I did see JD shooting from the ground, and I think now if you're down, instead of just being able to crawl to someone to help you, you may be able to actually shoot an enemy.
Pull the Boltok pistol out and shoot
while you're down, while you're waiting. That'll be hot. Back up. That would be a great.
That would be hot. That would be hot. And things like that do change Gears. You got to understand, man. Gears dynamic hasn't really changed since part 1. You know what I'm saying? It's with the exception of solidifying wall bounce, making it everything except an official ass move.
Well, let me say this much, and shout out to Andrew Wilkins for the subscription to the channel. I appreciate that. I do want to say this much though. That doesn't really, I don't know, one mechanic, does that changes everything for everybody? I don't I don't
We
know.
don't know that's all there is. That's all we saw in a 45-second trailer.
No,
That's
Slim, I
true.
think there's a couple other new mechanics that they add. Like I remember there's one like where you can possess like the enemy, and then you can actually use the robot or whatever that flies to
Mhm.
attack
Yeah.
Isn't that
enemies.
only in Horde though, or something?
Is that only in
I
Horde?
think that's only in
And
Horde,
campaign.
except for the robot.
I thought the robot was
Jack.
in campaign.
Yeah,
All of
Jack's in
that's-
campaign. But
Everything
he's the
from Horde
third
is in
character.
campaign. Everything in Horde is in campaign. So you can use those invisibility, the shooting through stuff, the decoy, Jack, and whatever powers he
Well,
does. I don't. As far as like
Nah,
picking up
yeah,
allies and
That
everything.
potentially changes the mechanics of
A lot, big
yeah,
time.
I mean, yeah, we don't know how if it's going to work, but I mean, it definitely changes the dynamic from traditional Gears of War.
Hear me and listen, Nox and Enrique, both of you guys, real quick. Low End the Average says, either way, I will be buying it day one and not Game Passing it. I want to support their hard work as much as possible, and also add this. I want to add this game to my collection. Here's what I'm wondering from you guys, and I want you guys to just don't do the immediate answer. We've all been so primed to answer that it's going to do well because of Game Pass, but hear me out. And I think I'm going to answer. I'm going to throw out Sir X-Man's math that he sent me earlier that he keeps referring to in the chat. If you have a situation right now where Low End to Average says he's going to go out and buy the game, but majority of hardcore people, and we all are hanging out with a lot of the hardcore, whether, I'm not talking about just us. It's not like we matter and that's it. But it's all like a big skill tree, right? It's a big tree. We all know people who know people who are hardcore in this camp, right, in this community. And all of us know that all of us have what? Game Pass. So if we're all buying it on Game Pass, my question to you guys is, then who's buying it out in the, like we used to traditionally? And here shout out real quick to Sir X-Man. He says, I did the math on this, considering 5 million. And this, I didn't even look over all this. So he said this to me, take it with a grain of salt. I didn't do all the math or anything. This is his. He said, out of 5 million, at $10 a sub for Game Pass, it's 50 million, he says. Then he goes, one game with 5 million would be 300 million for Microsoft. Now, what he's doing the correlation there, very simple, just to say what people used to buy the game at $60 for that same number of customers, they're making way less. So at this point, when we say on September 6th, hey, look at how many people are playing Gears of War, those are all the people that have subscribed for 99 cents to Ultimate Game Pass. Okay, 99 cents. That's just the truth. So the point of the matter is that used to be, Crap Gamer used to go spend, and I'm using him as an example, hardcore fan, Gears tattoo on his arm, big-time Gears fan. He used to go spend $100 on the Ultimate Edition all the time, every time. Sometimes spending more if he got a collection item with it. And
Not this
now,
time.
No, now you lose all those guys because they're not going to go pay $100. Most of them, I would say more than half, will not go pay $100+ when they can play the game early for 99 cents.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
do you see what I'm saying here? At the end of the
But
day,
But also, how many people are gonna play the game that
Xbot,
never really got
let's
into Gears?
let's play the magic numbers game real quick. If we give the benefit of the doubt to Xbox having 40 million out in the wild, would you say that, would it be fair for me to say that 8 million or 10 million people have Game Pass? And wouldn't you say that would also be being very, very, that's me being very gracious?
To be really honest,
Just for
with you, man,
conversation.
I'm not gonna put myself out on that ledge because I don't really.
Xbox,
know.
we have to be able to have a talk show without a
I-
constant
I know.
receipt.
I'd
We
say,
do,
no,
but
It's a talk show.
I'd say
Okay.
10
But
million
dude,
have Game
See,
Pass.
what I'm talking.
There's
what
people
I'm
right now
talking-
telling how many touchdowns Eli Manning's going to have. They don't know. They're saying a number because it's a talk show. I'm saying
right.
for 8 to
But
10
see,
million at 99 cents,
the deal.
okay?
Here's-
That's 8 to
here's
10
the
million dollars. They would have made much more money if they just sold Gears of War flat out.
Yeah,
So
but,
what I'm
but they're cementing this subscription service from now and moving forward. And when it comes down to it,
that's a
they're
huge
gonna be
maybe.
Well, yeah, just when Scarlet comes out and you can get their complete first party launch lineup without buying them and have them ready to go as soon as you power up your new system, I think that's
Launch
a pretty
lineup
good.
of Halo.
That's a pretty good selling point. How Halo is a huge title,
Well, it
bigger
used to
than
be.
Gears.
Not as big as
Bigger
it
than
used to
Gears.
be.
Community,
Yeah, it used to be.
community
Used to be.
is
Used to be.
absolutely huge.
Used to be a huge game. Yeah.
I agree with Mooch. Listen, the people that most likely have Game Pass, like Mooch has already mentioned, is the hardcore. We're the ones that have it, and we're the ones that would have went and bought Gears day one, right? That's
Right.
safe to say. But if we're going to justify the value of Game Pass.
We're not going to buy it.
We're not going to buy it, right? We're going to Game Pass it because that's the point of Game Pass. That's the point Microsoft.
That's what they want you to do.
Exactly. But they are. So the shout out to the gentleman in the chat, I'm forgetting his name, that said he's going to buy it to support it. Listen, you don't have to buy it to support it. If you're a collector and you buy it for your personal collection, absolutely go ahead and do so. But if it's in support of the devs, don't worry, the devs are fine. The devs are fine. Microsoft got you covered. That because when Microsoft put it in there, they've made that decision that their devs are fine. Support them by getting it in Game Pass.
Right. But most developers only care about their game selling enough to be able to keep the lights on and be able to get their next project out. When you are a first-party developer of a platform and a platform that has now allowed your game to be a part of a subscription, you don't even have that concern no more. So just make a good game. It should all you should be caring about.
They are good.
Yeah, there's also something to be said.
To even go even further, we're forgetting that this game is being sold on Steam, right?
Right. But shout out to Crispy Bomb who says, "Wow, please." He goes, "Gears 4 sold 9 million copies."
But it's sold.
What do you mean with Game Pass? I don't know what he means with Game Pass. That's that's not true at all.
Gears 4 did not sell no 9 million copies. Get out of here.
I mean that's I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that's accurate, and the Game Pass thing doesn't make sense either.
Not.
But my point being is that like I think that when my point here, and I understand where Xbox made a really good point as well. But I got to say, I just think that Microsoft is going to find out, especially as time goes on. And you guys all heard, crap, did you say 19 million to get Devil May Cry 5 in there?
Yeah, they spent 19 million. They paid 19 million dollars to
just think about that, guys. Can I just say something really quick? I said with giving Xbox the benefit of the doubt, I'm giving them a quarter. If it's 40 million out there, 10 million Game Pass subscribers, all at 99 cents, everyone bought it on sale for the most part, right? So they didn't even pay for Devil May Cry 5. So what I'm saying to you is like it doesn't. And when you have companies that are going to start their own streaming services like Disney's doing and pulling all their content off Netflix, once all this content is either going to get not reachable for Microsoft even with big dollars, because it doesn't make sense. They can afford it, but why would you want to pay $50 for the next, or $50 million for the next Devil May Cry, right? So you're not going to do that. So my point is once you start not being able to put those third-party games in there and their first-party games are kind of just okay, as we just said, well, it's in Game Pass, I guess I'll deal with it. Guess what? People aren't going to deal with it anymore. And Halo and Gears cost more than $10 million. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is the issue that kind of comes down the line. And I think Xbox staff is kind of scratching their heads being like, you know, we better figure something out, and we better step on the gas as far as pushing developers to put better games out. And you've heard the owner of Double Fine and Tim Sweeney, great guy. But Tim Sweeney and all these guys that are like, well, and Ninja Theory said the same thing. Xbox absorbed us, and guess what? We get to still be us. Well, that's really great for Tim and his crew. But is that really great for you guys that are the consumer?
But I mean, dude, you're leaving out the fact that, you know, me and Knox stated before with Game Pass, when we were talking about Game Pass on all devices or whatever, they're really talking xCloud. So you're talking about, like, when it comes down to it, more people who are investing in the subscription service, whether it takes off hugely or not, that is a huge demographic of gamers that if they're putting in a subscription service to play these games on their tablets and stuff like that, that is also income coming in. And what they're doing now is they are solidifying their lineup. They might not make as much money with Gears 5, but they are solidifying Game Pass to move on to the future. And then when xCloud comes out as well, you know, you have all those games in there, including
Xbox,
Devil May Cry.
And shout out real quick.
You have to invest. You have to spend money.
Shout out to Ben John for this subscription. Thank you very much. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I do want to say this much, but Xbox, that was a lot of ifs. Man, that was a lot of ifs. If not that many. That's a lot of ifs.
Real quick regarding Game Pass, I heard this come up a lot. Like, you know, how can Game Pass make money? You know, Matt Piscatello said that has tweeted this out numerous occasions. There is a positive net correlation now between games that go on Game Pass and an increase in sales for those games on Game Pass. And what he's saying is that games that are on Game Pass, like a lot of the older games, like you'll see, like Devil May Cry will get a spike in sales because it's on Game Pass now. I forget what like the time frame is. Maybe you might remember this, Slow-Mo, but there's a time frame where games sell really hot and then they kind of fall off the map a little bit.
It's like 3 months. It's like
Yeah.
3 months where after 3 months, you're never going to. It's like the point of no return for sales on your game.
Yeah, but
you're
Game
not gonna
Pass has
sell
kind of
more after that.
resuscitated those sales for a lot of titles. And what he's saying is that, even though these games are free, even Microsoft's first party stuff, the net effect of it is that that drives engagement. So you'll have people that, and they're seeing NPD seeing this trend where people are buying games, physical copies, because they're seeing their friends playing the game on Game Pass. But I also think Microsoft, I heard you mention the 19 million. I think Microsoft to an extent is playing the long game here where, they're probably going to shell out more money for other games to get on the service because they have to.
Absolutely.
But this is part of them, I think, playing the long game. Now, on the flip side is that effect, how long will that last for? That's the big unknown right now. Like, I even talked to Matt about it. He's like, that's the one thing we don't know. As of right now, games that go on Game Pass tend to sell better without being on Game Pass because
Of course they do. Listen to what Slow-Mo said. These are games that didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
like all of a sudden, Game Pass is for those games that are really just never going to be picked up anywhere. That's like giving you a billboard in Times Square.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
great charity work.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, but I think we don't know. The thing with the first party stuff, we don't know, like how much Microsoft, are they losing money because the Game Pass is eating the sales?
Well, let's look. Enrique, you're right. We don't know the number, so I'm not going to sit here and say they're losing money. That's not fair for me to say. But I'm just going to use. I'm using basics here, right?
Yeah.
At 99 cents. Okay, or the $3, and they had $6 deals. Last year, they gave a year away for $60. They had all these deals over the past couple of years. So everyone's picked up Game Pass on a deal. Majority of people, now let's say they have it, all bought it for $1. Point being is this, okay? You've got $19 million for that one game. There's a lot of other games in there that cost them not $19 million, but maybe $6 million, $10 million, $11 million, $8 million.
Hold on. Do you think a division of Microsoft, which you personally know that Microsoft, all they do all day is look at numbers. Do you really think a division of Microsoft did not look at these numbers and be
Do you really think that Phil wasn't proposed a couple of years back when he took over that possibly Satya didn't want anything to do with Xbox? Do you think that may have happened?
I think he can.
Those are the same people looking at those numbers, and then they're going to be reassessing these numbers. And that's what I'm saying. And Slow-Mo, you hear what I'm saying. You're a numbers guy. I mean, that's right. He is. He knows. Usually when it makes dollars, it makes sense. He's all about that. And I mean, my point is that I think when Phil went there, he said, I'm all in. You got to be behind me. And believe it or not, Xbox, you're right. Microsoft went behind them. But now that you see sales declining to all-time lows, it's not a good sign. And let me tell you, this is the worst generation to lose.
Right now. With the next generation around
everything,
the corner. And here's the deal. People have been talking about how, PlayStation is going in with a full head of steam and stuff like that. We've seen just how quickly a 180 can come about when they introduce new hardware. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is also the possibility of that. Somehow, some way, each company, somehow, some way, has stepped on their own feet when they come out with new hardware. The Xbox One, Xbox did it this generation. PS3 did it last generation. Who's to say that the unveiling of these new pieces of hardware and moving forward, that somebody isn't going to step on their own feet with the launch of this as well? There's a lot of ifs when it comes to coming out with a new set of hardware with new power parameters, a new launch lineup, and everything like that. There's ifs all over the place.
This is the generation unlike any other, and I've been saying it for so long, and I don't know why it's not. It's just maybe it's not clicking with you, and I'll say it again. This is the generation where controllers, accessories, games come with you. There's no like a light switch in November of 2020 where everything ends. Xbox is at an all-time low right now. They're not selling very well, and the next generation doesn't start for a very long time. It's over a year. That's only going to
Brother,
keep
but
going.
brother, here's one thing I think people are kind of tossing to the side, but when it does come out, and if they market it properly, you talk about everything comes with you. Yeah, that's right. And then on the Xbox platform, everything from this generation comes with you. Everything from the 360 generation comes with you. OG Xbox comes with you. That is something that their quote unquote competitor can't give you right now.
Yeah, but we had this conversation on Brad. I think you might remember this. Slobo and Forte said that the Xbox would take MPD next year or something.
Yeah, he said it
Pretty
could be
remember-
like November and December.
Yeah, and so
off of Halo Infinite.
Yeah, and so what I said to him, I've had this similar conversation with Lord Cognito too. I don't think, and I think to your point, Mooch, like you talked about controllers and your games coming with you.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the console generation that everyone where you had to cement your base, where you lock people into your ecosystem, and those 100 and whatever million people that are on PlayStation, majority of those people, I would probably maybe 90%, who knows, are not going to just say, you know what, I'm gonna leave playing PlayStation, and I've invested thousands of dollars in the PlayStation 4 ecosystem. I
can almost guarantee you, if Halo is fire, a lot of those people that left from the 360 went to PS4. If they see Halo is fire, and if it's giving them what they want in a Halo game, there are people coming back to the Halo community. I can guarantee that.
There might be some people, but that's a lot.
No,
that's a lot of pressure to put on a game, though, too. And I don't. And there may be people coming back, and there may be, and some of those people may come back and buy an Xbox and say, you know what, I didn't buy an Xbox this console generation, but I have my PlayStation 5. I'm also going to buy, an Xbox Scarlet. But they still will probably primarily play on the PlayStation. I just don't see. This was the generation, I feel like, again, where you had to cement your base, you had to lock those people in your ecosystem, and if you look at the numbers, I mean, Sony's locked those people in, that 100 million. I mean, like Mooch said that the Xbox isn't doing well. They only sold 37,000 consoles a month of July. I think Sony's 173,000.
And we're not. Listen, Enrique. Actually, you know what? I would defend Xbox and say, guess what? That doesn't matter if this was September 2020 because we're so close. We're a year away plus. That's not good. That's not good. That shows no faith in the brand.
Well,
it's not good.
You look at Nintendo's about to lap them.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's not good. I'm not saying it's doom and gloom and that Microsoft
no,
or Xbox
absolutely
is,
not.
be
no,
gone,
we got Scarlet. We've got years coming.
Dude.
We've got games. But it's not doom and gloom. But I mean, it's really. Well, and you gotta give Crap Gamer an Academy Award for his first 20-minute performance tonight. I mean, it's hard to do a pep rally. It is. It's hard to do a pep rally for something that is not. And then and shout out to Xbot again. I'm not gonna. Xbot's actually doing his due diligence, and he's a fan. And I gotta be honest with you, Xbot did a hell of a job. He almost got me excited for Battletoads the past 8 weeks. But then I saw it. Right? You did. No, Xbot, you did.
Let's get
And then I saw it.
And then you saw it. You're like, oh.
And I was like, damn it.
Then reality sunk in.
And here's another quick little volleyball throw up for the panel.
Be sure to watch my live stream when
I will, buddy. When you stream, I'm there. You may not know. They call it lurking, but I'm always checking it out, buddy. Absolutely.
Let me ask you guys something. But this guy Phil Pyromancer actually he did a super chat. I think he said that he made the jump from 360 to PlayStation 4, but I think last generation it was easier to make that jump because you didn't have you weren't as tied into that ecosystem the way you are now. Like if PlayStation 4 didn't bring their games or Sony wasn't bringing the PlayStation 4 games to the PlayStation 5, then that would have been trouble for them. But they're doing that. And so I don't think people are going to leave that. I don't think people are going to leave their libraries, and they're not going to leave their friends that they've made this console gen.
Well, look, a lot of stuff.
I agree.
A lot of stuff came with me from the 360. Still, like my movies and TV shows and stuff like that. That all came with me, and even stuff that I bought digitally on my 360 when it was officially put into backwards compat, that came with me too. So Microsoft already started doing that. What we have to ask Phil Pyromancer, shout out to him, is why he went from 360 to PS4, and more than likely the answer is more powerful console for $100 less. Which is why a lot of people went to PS4. Just on that alone. That's before Resolution Gate and all that.
Just that, before the quote-unquote great exclusives as well.
Correct.
Let's be real.
But correct. But they still left. And that's one of the major reasons why they left. Now, Sony has everything going for them going into next gen. They got the mind share, they got the install base, they got the reputation. They're running on all cylinders, man. Like they've got everything. And where Microsoft is just look, Battletoads, right? Mooch said it. Xbox, you had me convinced until I saw it.
He did. Xbox did a hell of a job.
Yeah,
I got some bills. I'm sorry. Fail Pyromancer says, I'm part of the 85 million who was an Xbox 360 fan who made the jump to join the 100 million PS4. And as of now, Halo is not enough for me to jump back. Then here's a rebuttal from my girl, the Ashton Lucas. She says, my coworker sold his PS4 for Halo 5. Don't know after Halo 5 campaign, people will do that for Infinite, but not sure. Could go either way. Good point, Ashton Luca. And then, of course, Phil Pyromancer's back, and he says, it was easy because all my friends jumped too. That's the thing. Phil Pyromancer makes that point, and at the same time, you have to understand that if friends are there now and all their games go with them, it's going to be a really – and now next gen, the consoles are going to be equivalent in power.
Mooch, here's the thing, though, and this is something you see. Call of Duty is doing crossplay, right?
Yes.
We're going to see crossplay evolve as well.
That will play a role.
Multi-plats, all right, because when you look at PlayStation, they have the holy grail of single-player experiences and stuff like that. But when you look at the list of the games that most people are playing, they are all multiplayer games. So if they are able to play with their friends with a cross-play feature moving into the next series of hardware, then it's an even playing field.
But Xbox, isn't that even more of? But isn't that even more of a reason? If I have a PS4 and a lot of my friends are on PS4, and I had two friends on Xbox, now with crossplay, I'm definitely buying a PS5 because my two friends now I can actually play with the X. It doesn't make me want to go buy an Xbox Scarlet.
Yeah. Not only that, but why would you buy an Xbox if you knew the single-player games exclusives were going to be great, and you could play the multi-plats on PlayStation 5 as well? Like, it's a win-win on that side.
Right.
I just don't see Microsoft having anything compelling. Look, most of us are going to be after this generation. We're of the mind that Microsoft's going to have to show us that they can. And I know Xbox, God bless you, you're fine with like these 55 rated games, right? I want better. I'm just saying, I want Game of the Year contenders. Okay, that might not mean much to you, but it means
Game of the Year is so subjective.
Yeah,
First off, we don't even vote for that shit. So
well, I do. Whenever those things come up, I do. I'm saying I want games that are recognized.
And you're like what,
as great.
12%, and the other freaking 88%
I get it. But you know what? But check it out. Don't you want those great high-rated games too?
I just want.
Don't you think more people? Don't you think more people would be interested in Xbox?
All the way around.
Don't you think more people would be interested in Xbox if they had great content? Like, people want to believe in Xbox, but they're going to have to show people that they're committed to doing great games.
To me, Gears 5
thus far,
looks like it's great content.
Xbox,
but it's more Gears.
Oh, but so if Gears keeps coming out with great content, then why is it? Oh, but it's Gears. I don't understand that from you.
Because that's all we're getting. Instead of getting a banger. Like every Xbox generation has delivered something new. The first Xbox gave us Halo. The second gave us Gears. What is this one giving us?
This one should have gave us Sunset Overdrive. Let's be real.
Well, Sunset Overdrive is now with Sony.
It's gone.
So,
and that's the thing. When it came down to it, it came out at a point in time, and this is where social media has become such an integral part in the gaming community. Sometimes I think to the detriment of certain things, because when it came down. Sunset Overdrive came out, people are like, well, what resolution is it? Oh, it's cartoony. And there were so many things to kind of throw back at it.
I don't buy that argument, because you look at stuff on the Switch. I mean, it's cartoony. It's, resolution isn't good. There's been other games this generation that didn't have high resolution.
That was right in the middle of the power narrative, where even big gaming media was talking about 180p difference. We had Digital Foundry talking about extra blades of grass in GTA. It was absolutely out of control. Let's be real.
Well, nobody bought it. They didn't market it. It was just, what I'm saying?
They didn't market it, really? They had their own YouTube channel dedicated to it and everything like that.
Yeah, but there was no commercials for it. Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of it.
Speaking of commercials, that's a topic
didn't.
that I have, guys. What's going on? Like Gears 5, I know that, shout out to Dirk Riggedy, who did an awesome job of tweeting it out, but marketing. Gears 5 is coming out in what, 14 days? Like, I mean, at the same, like,
I saw Gears. I did see a commercial.
But listen, Enrique, let me just take what you said and build on it. You saw a commercial.
Yes.
That's
One
insane.
commercial.
I mean, we saw Spider-Man, we saw all kinds of different commercials
I hope you go to Knox on this one, brother.
Knox saw it on Hulu. How about cable? We all still watch cable. Not everybody's stuck on YouTube and Hulu.
Knox might have seen the Spider-Man train.
You know, Knox also saw
for real.
he took the Spider-Man chain to work. I mean, Knox, are you here? I don't know if Knox is here right now. But I got to be honest with you, that is an issue. I mean, is it marketing? Where's the marketing on this?
That is the main
Blair Witch comes out end of the month. You know how I found out? Crap Gamer.
Oh, it comes out at the end of the month?
You found out now from me.
I didn't know.
Nobody knows. Right? This is like an exclusive, timed exclusive. Nobody knows.
I just found out Gears Pop came out today.
Yeah. Rod tweeted it out while he was having a muffin. I mean, where are they? What's happening? Slow-mo, what's your take on this? I mean, we've talked marketing in the past. I mean, this is still an issue, isn't it? How are we supposed to know what to play?
Yeah, it's definitely still an issue. Sorry, I'm a little off right now because like the computer crashed like twice on me.
I heard I saw that.
In and out. Yeah, the Blair Witch coming out like what next week?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Friday.
so that's Astral Chain coming out at the same time.
Yes, it is.
Man of Medan is coming out the same week, and there's
Great
one more game, Control. So you're dropping Blair Witch with all three of these games that have way more marketing, are way more highly anticipated than a game that we didn't know existed until 2 months ago.
Hey, Slow-mo, what do you think Astral Chain does, man? Sales?
Well, it's on the Nintendo Switch. It's going to be like plus 10 million, easy.
Well, I mean, like the first month or week. You know, like I don't think 10 million the first month, but it's going to do a couple million.
No, maybe like 4 or 5. I think first month, and I think it's going to be like a 95 Metacritic. The game's going to be amazing.
Which one now?
Astral Chain.
Astral Chain. People are saying is going to be a Game of the Year contender.
Yeah,
it
looks
really
good. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's that. But the thing again is like, here we are, you know, and Xbot makes such a good point. I got to defend Xbot 448 here. You know, he's like, come on, man, it's damn Gears, right? But here we are talking about Gears, and I'm seeing podcasts talk about Gears more than Microsoft's talking about Gears. That's something wrong with that,
They put your commercials out, brother. You go on Hulu, you will see like 5 Xbox commercials.
Mooch, Aaron said no one watches TV anymore.
I know. I just realized that. Somebody tell Verizon and Comcast.
That's actually been talked about on
right?
Was it TED Talk? A lot of people like there was a whole thing about marketing.
Comcast and Spectrum. I don't know how they're even turning the lights on. I don't know how they're doing it.
They got marketing. If you go to the grocery store, you get Chips Ahoy. You can see Gears of War 5 marketing.
Yeah, the NFL was just wasting money on these network deals. You know, like I mean, these networks are just no one's watching football or March Madness or anything like that.
Networks are only
no
paying
one watches
billions
The
of dollars.
Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Like, who watches TV now? Come on.
Yeah, nobody watches TV.
Hold on. Slow-mo. Are you saying you watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, brother?
That's what I just asked him.
Yeah.
Slow-mo
donkey punch.
Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Carlos Crespin. He says, even if you're completely satisfied, you should still be concerned with the dismal sales if you care about the future of the console. Demand better. Carlos, I think that's what Crap's whole sentiment is. And I know Crap sometimes does it with a bit of humor twisted in there, and some people don't get it. But all Crap ever says to me behind the scenes.
You guys are so old school.
But whatever Crap says to me always behind the scenes is he just wants to see exclusives. He wants to see games. He wants to see the company thrive. And the problem,
the only thing that I would ask for right now, like people act like I'm asking for 10 games to be announced. Fuck, we all know that Fable is coming. Say you're right. We're returning to Albion. Stay tuned for more of this at E3 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like give somebody some kind of something after 5 goddamn years. God damn.
The other thing too, Crap, is you see and I see, we all see how like Sony treats or talks to their fans and how Nintendo does it. They give their fans what they want. They give their core group, they give their core audience of fans what they want. Sony will go out on stage and announce a game that's 3 years out, right? Nintendo will flash out Metroid Prime 2, right? And that's it. And people just and that's why people are so loyal to those brands, because those brands speak to them. And I think with regards to the console, like wanting the console to do better, I get criticized for being critical of Xbox, but I want them to do better, because if they do better, if the platform does better, that means more content for the platform. Like if you look
Absolutely.
at PlayStation 4, there's so many games that are exclusive on PlayStation 4 that aren't first party titles that may not see the daylight on Xbox, like Judgment, which just came out, I think, in end of June or July or something. I don't remember. Which, if you're a fan of the Yakuza series, is a damn good game.
Yeah.
Probably not coming to the Xbox though.
No.
But what was that game? Observation.
Mm-hmm.
Was a kind of like a very story driven game, but that was exclusive to PlayStation. Came out a couple of months ago. There's an RPG. I think was it called Fail Seal? I think
so.
Fail Seal,
yeah,
Arbiter's Mark.
They're saying that's like people who played it are saying that's like the best RPG they played this year, prior to Fire Emblem, because that's going to be the best RPG this year. Anyway, and that game is exclusive to PlayStation. Like, they just miss out on all these games that Sony doesn't even have to do anything to say, hey, look what we got, and look what they don't have.
Exactly. There's Judgment. Shout out to Phil Pyromancer again, who says there's Neo. I mean, there's just games. There's all these Yakuza series.
Shenmue 3.
Right. I mean, all these games come out, and whether you like them or not, listen, some of them are not my cup of tea. That's not my bag. But at the same time, they're there for gamers
Iron
to
Man
choose.
VR.
Oh, my goodness. Anyway, Mooch, I think somebody in the chat.
Concrete Genie.
A certain Jago6. I think he said it better than any of you guys.
What'd he say?
To Halo, Gears, and Forza. He was like, everyone that has a Xbox knows about Gears, so Halo, Gears, Forza, and they already have told other people about it. That is the best kind of like response when it comes to more than Halo, Gears, and Forza. I can roll with somebody saying that.
What did he say?
It's like when it comes to Gears, it's like everyone that has an Xbox knows about Gears, and they have already told everybody about it. And I can see that as not creating any hype.
Listen, you're a big fan of using your world always as a census, and I think that's great. I'm going to use mine for a quick second. So I have my friends that are definitely they play games, but they're definitely casuals, and they put their hand on the Bible and be like, I'm a casual. They play like one game a year. That's what they do. When we were at the football draft last year for fantasy football, there was 1 million advertisements. I believe it was for Spider-Man. And a buddy of mine that doesn't even have a PlayStation 4, he has an Xbox One, right? He says to me, that game looks sick. He goes, do you have it? And I'm like, yeah. I'm getting it. I'm like, yeah. He's like, this game looks insane. I'm like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be big. And he goes, I might pick up a PS4 for that. My point being is, guess what? He has. If I called him, got him on the air right now, I'd be like, hey, when you picking up Gears 5? He'd be like, does that come out in a year or so? He doesn't even know. He has no idea when Gears 5 comes out. He's not a gamer. He doesn't pretend to be. I mean, he games, but he's not a gamer. He's not in the community. What I'm saying to you is that you can't put it on Hulu, and then shout out to Yobi in the chat, and you can't put it on the WWE network for a split second. You've got to advertise the shit out of it. And that's the thing. They don't do that. And you've heard Aaron Greenberg. Nobody watches TV. Hey, Aaron, stop listening to the 8 friends you have in San Francisco, okay? Like the rest of it's cold over here on the East Coast for 9 months. We watch a lot of TV when it's cold. Go talk to somebody in Ohio and ask them if they have cable. Try to duck from the punch. I mean, listen, I got news for you, right? We watch TV. I don't get it. So Sony uses TV. They use print. They use subways. They use basketball courts. They use flying. Any type of procedure they can get their hands on that's marketing, they use it. And Microsoft refuses. Microsoft only uses crap and mooch YouTube channel ads.
Doesn't Sony have a bowl game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't they have like the PlayStation Bowl or something? Like
yeah.
See?
I mean, they get it, but I mean, listen. I mean, that's what like. Sony's got big bucks. I mean, they clearly got way more money than Microsoft. Oh wait, never mind.
Oh boy. Somebody in the live
It's
chat
not-
says we got cable.
on
Well,
the higher
here's
the-
let me ask you guys this question. So this is something that back in the beginning of the generation, we all were like, half of us on this panel were probably like, I believe it, and the other half of us, maybe one of them was like, I don't believe it. And now we found out it was true. What do you guys think about the whole Microsoft contractors were listening to people through the Kinect, through Cortana? I mean, that is a bit alarming, isn't it?
I can't say I'm shocked. I can't say I'm shocked.
I had people tell me that you should expect it. Like
all
it's
these
You guys
companies
aren't-
already do
You guys
it.
aren't
I mean,
saying-
all
you
these
guys aren't
companies
saying
do
the
it.
whole
You know that,
story.
right?
I agree with
guys aren't
Knox.
saying- You're not
Alexa
saying the
does.
whole story though.
They all do. Google Chrome does it. Alexa does it.
Go ahead,
Edge
Xbot.
does it.
If
Yeah,
Xbot's
but
got
that-
something, I want to hear it.
Well, the whole story, like when you first plug in your Kinect and everything like that, they ask you if you want your stuff, if you want to go in and let them use your information or whatnot, right? So those
Yeah.
people, when it first came out, when Kinect first came out, there is an amount of learning that the Kinect is doing for voice recognition and stuff like that. So people were saying things that the Kinect thought was like Xbox on and stuff like that. And they already had the agreement that they were going to be collecting data and stuff, but they inadvertently turned it on, and then they were recorded at that point in time. That's what it's about. They're not just going around and recording anybody at random. All right.
Yeah,
People
they
who
did.
No. People already they opted in on getting data collection or whatnot when you first started the Kinect up. And for those people who checked that box, what had happened was the Kinect learns your voices and stuff like that, and over time it fine tunes itself. It gets better, through the programming and stuff. That is one of the main reasons why they were collecting data for voice recognition and stuff like that. But inadvertently, people were turning on their Xboxes and they were getting recorded. But they checked that box first.
Hello, Dave.
So you're saying
Xbox, I'm gonna inform you of something.
Go
man.
ahead, Slow Mo.
Everything that you say with any device, microphone,
Yeah, it's
on
recorded.
nearby,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for you.
everyone's
If your
eavesdropping.
cell phone has been recording everything you say
Mhm.
for years.
Isn't that part of the Patriot Act? If I'm not
This
mistaken?
crap is
Mhm,
not
it is.
important to me. I already know
I agree,
there
Slow
is
Mo.
a file somewhere out there from
Slow mo
some
donkey punch.
quote unquote bad actors and some quote unquote national government entities, and they listen to everything that you say. Now it's all metadata for them, so like they really not listening until you say something like bomb combined with some other words that I'm not going to say, so that
Can't
you
say
get
bomb on a
all
plane.
caught up. But basically all this stuff is on. Like it's been like this since about 2012. So just don't worry about it. Like it's
Yeah.
really not that serious. As long as you ain't doing some shit, you good.
I completely agree
like-
with Slow Mo. 110%. It's nothing to be
go even
alarmed about.
further, Like
That's-
But at
even
the
the stuff that you don't even have the option to opt in on, like your phone for one. But like say when they first started making the smart TVs for Samsung,
Remember the
those
cameras?
TVs were
Mhm.
recording everything people were
Yep.
saying, where they said
Yeah.
they opting in or not. And then Samsung was giving that information to a third-party company to then create a program so they could be able to make the smart TV better. And that company got hacked and got everyone's information all out there. This stuff is, you just have to just understand that we're in the age now where all that stuff is just going to happen. There's literally nothing you can do about it.
It's true. Ashley Madison's not even safe anymore.
Oh, Enrique.
Oh.
Well, listen, this is something that kind of bothers me, and I think a couple people on the panel are going to go, I don't give a shit, but I do. It's our generation. We kind of grew up with it. But Game Informer just let go of a lot of people, and I always feel like you have to put the product out there to earn the right, but these people I kind of felt bad for, because Game Informer is someone that I subscribe to. I've always liked Game Informer. I thought they do a decent job in reporting, and they're a part of GameStop. And GameStop is just not doing well. And we talk about this every 4 to 6 months, right? But like there's every single time we talk about it, it's a step.
Lately, man.
It is
It's
Xbot,
building.
and that's even worse. I mean, GameStop for me personally, I don't go nearly as much as I used to. I do almost 90%, if I'm not 95% digital now. But I still go, like when they had the Days Gone buy it was like love it or leave it deal where you can go buy the disc, and if you didn't like it after 48 hours, you could bring it back. And there, it was mixed reviews. It was getting a 70, 72 average back then. It's still, at this point, it's one of my favorite games of 2019. But that being said, I was like, let me go try it, and I'll return it. It's still fun to go into GameStop. It's still fun to talk to gamers. And the people that work there are gamers. And they have fun. And if you're there at the right environment, the midnight releases have become almost non-existent. Like, there's like 5 titles a year, and you have to be a AAA banger.
Plus that became your favorite game of the year, too. So
it absolutely did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, so my point being, and I do think Borderlands 3 is going to be my personal game of the year. That's a me problem. I can't wait to play that game in a few weeks. But I think that GameStop and Game Informer going down the tubes sucks. And, Enrique, is that something that I know that you hate seeing companies kind of go out? A lot of people are like, screw GameStop.
Yeah.
They screwed us forever. But, like,
No.
that's the end of an era.
I don't think, they may have done some things that were kind of, maybe not pro-consumer, but, we've all also have benefited quite a bit.
That's right.
From the trade-ins with GameStop, if we're going to keep it real. I mean, the trade-in bonuses, I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago, there was like a big trade-in bonus. You got like 3 times trade-in value. Anyhow, basically what happened was that they essentially paid for my Xbox One X because I kind of gamed the system a little bit. But,
right.
It's sad. I mean, Forte is actually a GameStop employee, and he kind of tells us like kind of what's going on and the layoffs and stuff, and how they're trying to restructure. And the magazine layoffs were, it sucks. You never want to see people in the industry get laid off, or people in general. And I've always been a big fan of the editor-in-chief, Andy McNamara. He's been there for quite some time. I hope Game Informer doesn't go away, because I certainly still have, and maybe because I'm older. We a lot of us grew up reading EGM, GamePro. God, what were some of the other ones? Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power, baby.
Even the Sega newsletter, man. Those were my
official Xbox magazine.
Yeah,
OXM.
OXM with the with the disc and stuff. Yeah, I mean, print media is. I mean, that's why I grew up, and I still read Game Informer when I get the.
So do I.
Even the reviews are a little bit behind, but I think that's also a sign of the times. The internet has really changed the game. That 24/7 use cycle.
Enrique, I just want to say with Game Informer, like they basically cut off their Australian division a few months ago.
Yeah.
That division right there was actually seeing an increase in subscriptions when they cut it off. So this is all because of GameStop.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They say they're repositioning, so this way basically they don't shut down. They're going in and they're shuffling everything around on the inside. But I really think Game Informer now, as you know it, as we know it, as we have all had it throughout the years, is about to be gone. Gone.
I hope not. I know one of the guys just landed on Kind of Funny, who got laid off like today. I think he started Kind of Funny. I forget his name, but
Imran Khan, I think.
Imran Khan. That's right. It's sad. It's really sad. I don't want to see print media go away. I don't want to see GameStop go away. I really hope they can figure this out. But I think we all lived through Blockbuster, right?
Right.
Maybe the writing's on the wall, and it's just only a matter of time before GameStop, closes their doors. So
no, I mean,
hopefully that's not the case. I still go there.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, and that's the thing. And think about the consoles that are going to be coming out next year. I can't speak for you guys. Maybe you guys are going to go to Best Buy. That's fine. I'm going to GameStop.
I'm going to GameStop too. Yeah.
Right. That's where I'll be getting a Scarlet. I'll be getting PS5. And that's just, there's, like you say, there's advantages that we've all gotten, and then there's things that we always remember the bad. You never remember the good.
Yeah.
And I think that, let's take away the money part of it for a second. Let's talk about just the gamer aspect of it. That was the only place. Like, think about anywhere in the world that you go to shop. I don't care if it's Walmart, Target. I don't care. You go to McDonald's, you go anywhere to eat. It doesn't matter. That's the one store that when you're in there, even if you're not picking up the same title game as the person next to you, you can have a fun, awesome, generalized conversation. Or it can be very specific about gaming, and it's the only place you can go do that in a physical location. There's a couple mom and pop stores out there, right? There are, but it's not the same, right? And you know, it's I don't know. For me personally, that's a sad day. I mean, crap's probably like 80 miles away from a GameStop, but I mean, like, is that where you did your physical shopping, crap, or was it, you know, Best Buy?
I mean, dude, I'm not like I'm in civilization. I think GameStop is like Jesus. You make it sound
Well, you
like
say it all the time. You're like, well,
somewhere.
I'm not going out there.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Sticks together to make a fire to cook dinner.
It's like 18 miles or something away. It's not like it's 150 miles. I mean, you know, 18, 20 miles, something like that. So, you know, yeah, I used to go to GameStop all the time. It's mostly going to suck when the new consoles come out, when GameStop finally does close down.
Right.
And you have to buy it, because I used to go pay on mine a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way you don't have to, like, because I'm bad with money. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to suck from that aspect. But yeah, you know, it sucks because there's an ambiance there. I still remember going to the midnight launches for a Halo.
Yeah.
Back when Halo was good, or a Call of Duty, or a, you know, Gears of War. Yeah, and just you would see 100 people there, and everybody's joking and having a good time, laughing, and then you take your disc home and put it in your 360, and you would play right then and there. You didn't have to install it, you didn't have to download anything. You were just good to go. I love that, you know.
Exactly. I mean,
I have an idea,
Right.
and there's someone at GameStop in leadership is listening. Hey, look, this idea is free. We just had Mooch talk about how, and even Enrique talk about how you can go into GameStop and just, you know, shoot the shit with people who are gamers.
Yes.
And then I also thought about the fact that, like, you know, there are companies out in the Eastern Hemisphere where they just got like lounges and gaming terminals, and people can just show up there just jump online and do things. How about, and we know they've been trying to change their how they do business with,
make it like a gaming cafe, right, Slow-Mo?
Like that. Yeah, turn it into a gaming cafe.
Hell yeah.
You know, have less stores, turn into a gaming cafe, turn into a place, you know, get a liquor license. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
You know, so start selling.
That might get rowdy though, Slow-Mo.
There might be some fights.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, make it 18 and up. Shoot.
There will
you
be
know,
some
if you got the money, you know, to pay to play. You know, make it so that, like me, you know, kids can come in to a certain time, and then once they hit like 8, 9 p.m., all right, go home. You know, the adults playing. So, like, just change some things up. Get some PCs. I
love that idea.
Line them up. You know, allow people to, you know, to pay. You know, play
set up game tournaments or whatever, and set up game tournaments
and pay money by the hour. You know, do something different. And if you guys do that, you know, I am available for employment. You know, my price might.
There you go.
Slow-Mo's gonna name his price though.
Pyromancer, I know what you're talking about.
Slow-Mo's, I'm on 50-50.
That was my spot. That's my spot with Phil Pyromancer.
Shout out to Phil Pyromancer. He says, I missed the local game store I grew up with, 181st Street in Washington Heights. We always bought the games there a week early before it was officially out. Shout out to Phil Pyromancer. Thanks for being so great. Guys, we have reached the 2-hour mark, and I know, Knox, I'm glad you're on here right now, because Knox said he had to bounce exactly at 9 o'clock. So I do want to do this, guys. I want to say thank you to everybody tonight. Amazing panel, amazing chat. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank to all you guys that did subscribe too. You can see that we're also signifying you guys out there. I appreciate that crap. Thank you. And I want to say this much too.
Hey man, I saw those things popping, man, when I was going off early. They
were
having a little fun.
That's that
crap,
man,
people.
Yeah,
it's all about entertainment, man. Come on,
it is, guys. Thank you.
I'm
glad you brought that back, crap. Guys, we do this me and Crap do this 3 times a week. These guys do it a bunch too. It's like, guys, we do this for fun. We love talking about it. We're passionate about it. And yes, sometimes opinions change. Things happen. The things that were going on in 2013, even with the corporations we all loved, regardless of who you liked back then, they're not doing the same things now. So how could we be doing the same things now? So that being said, guys, I want to say a great show. We're going to be back next week. Let me go in reverse order here before Knox has to kick himself out of here, because he'll be like, yo, Mooch, I'm bouncing. Real quick, Knox, thank you for...
Pretty neat.
Right? Pretty neat. Pretty good. Noxie, great to have you here, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let people know where they can find you.
Oh man, it was always a pleasure to be here. As always, look, that's my shit telling me get the hell out of here. It's time to work. Yeah, man, it's always great to be here, man. Awesome chat, awesome panel, like always, man. Pretty good, pretty neat. Yo, y'all know what y'all, catch me right here on YouTube. The content is coming, man. And Knox We Trust, it is coming soon, man. Trust me, it's coming. And yeah, man, the usual haunts, man. You know, Xbox Nation, next podcast. When I'm graciously invited to Crossfire, so you already know, man.
Knox, always great to have you, buddy. Thank you so much, and I appreciate
Always
you doing
great
that
to be
before
here,
you
my
have to
brother.
go work hard, man. Thank you for doing what you do, man. That being said, I got Slow-Mo. Slow, I know you had such a rough time with the computer and everything, and let me tell you something, Slow-Mo. The issues you were having this week are the issues I was having last week, so I feel your pain.
I heard.
So bad. It was awful for me. I'm so glad I worked out the kinks. That being said, let everybody know where they can find you, and thank you for being here tonight.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. It was a great time as usual. Great discussions,
Yes,
great
sir.
chatting, great panel. You guys can catch me on Twitter and YouTube of the same name, Slow-Mo Backslap. I've been doing a lot of stuff on YouTube for the past 2 months, a lot of videos. Most of my videos are focused on newer games that people haven't really heard of before, but they're not like trash. They're like really good games that are like, dark horse sleepers. So check them out. And I also talk about games that I love and just any other topics that I tend to want to rant about. But you can also catch me on Brat Podcast with Enrique on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Easterns, and also with Ash and Luca on Scumcast tomorrow at 5:30-ish.
Whatever time she can
Whatever
make.
time, yeah.
When Lucas says so.
Luca is ready
Yes.
is when it's going to be.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but something I'm doing on the show now for everybody, we do it throughout the entire show, but especially on the outros, is Slow-Mo, we're promoting your YouTube channel. We're promoting everybody's stuff throughout the show. So please do, guys, go check out Slow-Mo Backslap.
Top right-hand corner, people.
Honestly, he's got a great channel. And the thing about Slow-Mo's channel, I got to say one more time, it's different, is a lot of people just hit what's hot and happening in the news. He takes a subject that, when I see your subject line, Slow-Mo, I'm like, damn, that makes a good point. I got to watch and see what he's saying here, especially that Halo video you made last week. That was insane. Awesome video. So just check it out, guys.
The comments were a little interesting. I like the feedback. Like that was the intended reason for making the video really hit home. So I'm glad it turned out the way it did.
Awesome, man. Please keep it up, man. That content's fantastic. I appreciate it. And then I've got my buddy Enrique. Enrique, thanks for being here from BRAP. It's Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Enrique, honestly, to have you here tonight was fantastic. I wish you could have been on last week, but then again, you wouldn't have heard half the words I said because my mic wasn't working for the panel. So I'm glad you're actually here this week. Great show. Let people know all about the podcast and where they can find you.
Absolutely, man. Hey, had a great time this evening. Great podcast, topics, guests, everything, man. Just awesome. So thank you again. You can find me on Twitter at BRAP_podcast. And if you go to the YouTube, you can find us on the Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We podcast live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I appreciate that, Enrique. Hopefully you'll be on very soon in the near future, but it's always great to have you on the show. And then I've got my usual suspects here that are with us tonight. I've got Xbot448, which Xbot, I got to say, the beginning of the show, you had to do the defense thing. But in all honesty, I think at the end, we all came around. So, Xbot, great to have you. And I know you got a hell of a show coming up tomorrow.
Well, hopefully one day you guys will come around because I am here holding my ground. No doom and gloom right here, Xbot448. Yes, tomorrow, Saturday, is the next podcast. We are getting it in, even though we are moving. And guys, me and the family are moving right by the beach.
By the beach, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the move. I'm excited for tomorrow's show. A lot of stuff to talk about. And we have a very opinionated panel over there on next podcast as well. So definitely tune in for that. If you don't know, the channel is Xbot448. And again, huge shout out to the Xbox Pope for making such an awesome
Xbox
shout out to the
One
Pope.
X,
man. Thank you, brother.
Outstanding. Thank you, Xbot448. I appreciate that. And then I've got my co-host on MNC, and it's going to be a great MNC this upcoming Sunday. We've got the Crap Gamer. Crap, where can people find you this weekend?
Crap Gamer Reviews. We're out. Yeah.
That means it's well past 9 o'clock, and I've probably got a gift waiting for me somewhere on Twitter. That being said, guys, I want to say thank you to everybody. Shout out again. I want to do a quick little special shout out here while everybody else kind of relaxes and chills here to the Matrix Gamer. Outstanding job that he's done here on the show. And as you can see, I just have the outro screen here. Everything me and Jay did together, we worked. He's taught me how to use this. He's shown me the ropes. This guy's amazing. His services are definitely there for you too. So definitely check him out. Reach out to him. Get a hold of him. Couldn't have a show like this without him. Guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. We'll see you next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the Mooch78. Please do check me out on the Mooch78 as well on Twitch. And we'll do this again next week. Thanks to the panel. Great chat. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Good night.